We are moving on to the next chapter, chapter 11, special purpose books. That is second category we are going to discuss, or other books. Other books means other than cash book. We have certain subsidiary books or special purpose books, or they can be called as subdivision of journal. So we already discussed the first subsidiary book, that is cash book, and its different types also we discussed. Which are the different types of cash book? We have single column cash book or simple cash book, then double column or two column cash book where we have contra entries and all, then petty cash book, out of which we learned how to do analytical petty cash book. So cash book chapter is over. Now we are discussing the continuation of that, which is other books, or we are going to discuss special purpose books, second category. So here we have purchases book, then we have sales book, purchases return and sales return book. Almost the preparation is same for these four categories. Okay, and already you have learned the meaning of purchases book. I had told you the meaning of all these books in the beginning of the chapter cash book. You remember what do you mean by purchases book? That will record purchase of goods, but you have to specify one word, that is credit purchase of goods. What do you mean by credit purchase of goods? Credit purchase means immediately you will not make the payment and you are always the firm. So the firm is purchasing some goods and you are not making the payment on the same date. That means right now you are not making the payment. So that means purchasing goods on credit basis. So only credit purchase of goods will be recorded in purchases book, or it is also known as purchases journal. Purchases book or purchases journal. Why it is also known as purchases journal? Because it is the subdivision of journal. You can call all these books as book of original entry, because that is the other name for journal, isn't it? Book of original entry or book of prime entry. And all these are subdivisions of journal or subsidiary books of journal. So all these starting from cash book, that is cash book, purchases book, sales book, purchases return, sales return, and finally what we have is journal proper. So all these can be called as books of original entry. So in this book you will be recording only credit purchase of goods. Clear? So where will you record cash purchase of goods? Cash purchase of goods will be recorded in cash book. Cash sale of goods will be recorded again in cash book. Understood? Whereas credit purchases will go to purchases book and credit sales will go to sales book. That's the next one we are going to learn. So we'll start with purchases book. You write the chapter name and chapter number, then you give the heading purchases book or purchases journal. Both terms you must be familiar with, purchases book or purchases journal, and you have to see whether these two conditions are satisfied before you record a transaction in this purchases book. First one is whether it is credit purchase, that already we discussed. Second is it must be something in which the goods must be something in which the firm deals in, or something which the firm uses to manufacture goods. Meaning is, suppose yours is furniture shop. Your firm is a furniture shop. That means you are dealing in furnitures, purchasing and reselling furnitures. Sometimes you will produce them, you will produce yourself and then you will resell. That also can happen. Okay, so yours is a furniture shop and you are dealing in some goods, and that goods will be furniture, isn't it? Your good here will be furniture. Then, or if you are manufacturing furniture, the raw material which you use, that is timber. The timber which you are using to make the furniture, that will come under this goods category. Understood? So it must be credit purchase, first point. Second point is that it must be something in which the firm deals in. Meaning is that goods must be related to your firm. If yours is furniture shop and when you purchase timber for making furniture, that is related to your business. So that you can consider here, or that you can record it in purchases book if it is purchased on credit. So first it must be on credit, second it must be related to the firm. Understood? Or if you are purchasing and then reselling, that means furniture you purchased, it's related to the business. Then you are reselling means it is again related to the business. So that also will come under purchases book. So it must be something in which the firm deals in, or it must be something which is used to manufacture goods, like timber used to make furniture. Suppose again yours is furniture shop, the same shop, and you purchased a computer. Can you record, you purchased a computer on credit basis. The transaction is purchased computer from Mrs. Computers or Computer Mart, you write. That is the shop name, Computer Mart. Can we record this transaction? Can we record this transaction in the books of the firm? That means in your purchases book, can we record this transaction? No, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because it is on credit basis. The first condition is satisfied. It is on credit basis. Whenever the name of the seller is mentioned, that means it is on credit basis. But we are purchasing computer. Is it related to your business? No, yours is a furniture shop, and when you purchase a computer, it is not related with your business. So such transactions or such items cannot be recorded in purchases book, even if it is on credit basis. Understood? So both the conditions must be satisfied. It must be on credit and it must be something in which the firm deals in, or something which the firm uses to manufacture goods. Understood? So this particular transaction will not come in your purchases book if yours is a furniture shop. Understood? So these are the two conditions you must remember when you prepare purchases book. Sorry. So illustration 1 we will do now. It is given on page number 11.3. From the following information of Mrs. Narain and Company, his place is given Delhi. Prepare purchases book for the month of February. 3 transactions are given. It is not compulsory that you have to record all these 3 transactions. You have to see whether these 2 conditions are satisfied. Then accordingly you have to choose what all transactions to be recorded in purchases book. So you just take down these conditions. These are the 2 conditions you must remember that you take down in your book. Okay, so we'll start illustration 1. Write page number and question number. It's 11.3. Okay, the format is, first you give the heading purchases book, or you can write purchases journal. In the middle you must write, always you must have a heading. Then the format is date column as usual, then particulars column. Next, when we did cash book, we had one column like voucher number. Again, voucher means that is a source document or a supporting document which is an evidence of the transaction, like a bill or a receipt. All these are vouchers, or all these are source documents which shows the evidence of the transaction. So instead of voucher number, here what we have is invoice. So just like voucher, here what we have as source document is invoice. It is again a source document or supporting document which is a proof of the transaction, or which shows the amount of the transaction. The next column is details column. And finally what we have is amount column. Okay, we don't have separately a debit and credit side. This is the format of purchases book. Date, particulars, invoice number, LF. Did I draw invoice? Sorry, LF. I haven't drawn. LF is there. Just do the correction. LF is there. Though nothing will be written here, we need a column like LF. Details, amount. Okay. Why we are writing LF? Because we know that this is the subsidiary book of journal, and in journal we will be writing LF. If it is ledger, we will write JF. LF means that is ledger folio, that is the page number of the ledger in which that particular entry is posted. Understood? So now we will write the first transaction. The date is given 2020 February 1st. Okay, what we purchased is, and we purchased it from, the seller is Mrs. Brown and Company, Kolkata. It is on credit basis since the name is specifically mentioned, and it is not specifically mentioned that it is for cash. And the name is mentioned means it is on credit basis. Okay, what we have is, or what we purchased is 5 gross pencils at the rate of 1200 per gross, and 2 dozen registers at the rate of 500 per dozen, then less trade discount. Okay, now you remember what is trade discount. What is trade discount? It is the discount allowed by the seller when the buyer is purchasing goods in bulk quantity. Bulk quantity means in large quantity. You remember cash discount? Cash discount is the discount allowed by the seller when the buyer purchases, when the buyer makes payment on due date or before the due date. If he makes the payment on or before the due date, the seller allows them a discount, that is called cash discount. This is on bulk quantity, that is trade discount. Okay, so what we have to write here is, first we write the rate, then in particulars column you must write the seller's name given in the question. Seller's name means you are the buyer here in this question, because we are preparing purchases book. So this is prepared in your book. In your book means in your firm's book, and your firm now is a purchaser. And who is the seller in the first transaction? The seller's name is Mrs. Brown and Company. So first you have to write their name with their place. Next we will write the items we purchased from Mrs. Brown and Company. And the items what we purchased is, first one, just write the question itself. What is given in the question, you just copy paste. 5 gross pencils at the rate of rupees 1200 per gross. Okay. Now gross means 12 dozen. Okay, gross, the word is gross, right? Yeah. Gross means dozen. Understood? Gross means dozen or 12. So 5 gross pencils means, gross means it is a dozen. You understood? And it is given per gross, so you just have to do 1200 into 5. So that will be 6000, which we have to write in details column. Next, what did we purchase? Two dozen registers. Two dozen registers at the rate of rupees 500 per dozen. Just take it from the question. You just have to write the same given in the question. Okay. So dozen means 12 and gross means, I'll just write here 12 dozen. Did I say 12 dozen before? I don't remember whether I said it as dozen. Dozen means 12, that you all know, isn't it? One dozen means it is 12, 12 number. 12 numbers whereas gross means 12 dozen. 12 dozen means 12 into 12, it will be 144. So 1 gross means it will be 144. You don't have to compute all this because it is given per gross value and given 5 gross pencils. Altogether the value will be 1200 into 5. You don't have to compute too much, you don't have to calculate too much, but just I mentioned this term meaning. Gross means 12 dozen. It's not 1 dozen. I think previously I told you it as a dozen. Dozen means only 12. Gross means 12 dozen. 12 dozen means it will be 12 into dozen means again 12. So 12 into 12, 144 will be 1 gross. Okay, but you don't have to consider all this since the per gross value is given, just multiplied by 5. Then 2 dozen registers at the rate of 500 per dozen. Yes, so per dozen value is given, so what will you do? Should we do into 12 and all? Nothing, because per dozen value is given and we are purchasing 2 dozen. So 500 into 2 you just have to do, so that is 1000. So write the total again in the details column itself. Draw a small line here in details column and then you write the total. It's not over, then there is one more item like less trade discount 10%. So we will write here less trade discount at the rate of 10%. So 10%, now we will compute on the 7000. Again draw a small line in the details column. Is the transaction over? Yes. Then what you have to do is write the balance, that is 7000 less minus 700. You will write the balance. The final figure you can write in the amount column. Clear? So here also you have to draw a small line and the 700 and 6300 should be written on the same line, but this figure will come in the amount column. This one, all these in the details column, only in the final figure you need to write in the amount column. Okay. Now one transaction is over. You can draw a line in particulars column, just like we draw a line for journal after every transaction. Here you can draw a line after one transaction. These two lines actually must be on the same line. Since yours is ruled book, it will not be a problem. Okay, you don't have to draw line here, that we will do it last. So this is how you have to write one or record one transaction in purchases book. So here it is on credit basis, and what was the second condition? It is related to your business. See, look into the other transactions. Now we purchased pencils, isn't it? Then we have purchased white paper. Then finally we have purchased pens. So that means yours is a stationery shop and the items given in the question are related to your business. So both the conditions are satisfied. That's why we are recording all this. The next one is, the second transaction is February 4th, the paper company Delhi, that's the name of the seller. Then the items you write as it is given in the question, 8 reams of white paper at the rate of rupees 500 per ream. Okay, 8 reams of white paper at the rate of rupees 500 per ream. That is the first item you purchased, and per ream value is given. You purchased 8 reams, so it is 500 into 8, which is 4000. Now what is ream? Paper you know, isn't it? What is a ream of paper? Ream means, or one ream means, R-E-A-M. It is 500 sheets. So it is a bundle of papers. One ream means 500 sheets. But you don't have to multiply it by 500 and all. I just gave you the meaning of ream. What you have to do is per ream value is directly given, number of reams also given, so total will be 500 into 8. That's only calculation you have to do. The next item you purchased is 10 reams of, don't make mistake here by multiplying it by 500 and all. I just gave you the meaning of ream. 10 reams of ruled paper at the rate of rupees 600 per ream. There also we have a trade discount. Okay, so 10 into 600, 6,000, and now the total is 10,000. Then you write, so here you must draw a small line in details column, then you write the total in the details column itself. Then on the next line, here in particulars column you must write less, everywhere you are writing the same. Trade discount at the rate of 10%, compute 10% on 10,000. So it is 1,000, just cut 1 0. Again draw a small line in the details column. Finally you write the figure, the final figure you write in the outer column. And now again a transaction got over. Draw a line here in particulars column. These two must come on the same line. Since mine is not ruled 1, my lines will be like this, but when you draw, these two lines must be on the same line. Okay. And this 1,000 and 9,000 also on the same line. The next one, February 5, purchased 80 Reynolds pens at the rate of 5 each from Messrs. Verma Brothers, Delhi. Okay, again pens are related to your shop, yours is stationery shop, that we understood from the transactions. It's not mentioned in the question like yours is a stationery shop, but reading the transactions you can understand what is your business. So February 5, first you write, did we write the name of seller in the second transaction? Yes. So first you have to write the seller's name, that is Messrs. Verma Brothers, Delhi. It is 80 Reynolds pens at the rate of rupees 5 per pen. Yes, that's the item you purchased here. So 80 into 5, 400. You can write directly in the amount column because we have purchased only that item on February 5th. We don't have any item to be added or deducted with that. So you just have to compute this and write this 400 in the outer column. Understood? Now the transactions are over, isn't it? Only 3 transactions we have. Now you just close this, draw a line in the particulars column, and in the amount column, the final amount column, we are going to total this. So that column now we have to draw a small line like this. Nothing is written in the details column for this transaction. Directly we wrote the amount in the outer column since we don't have anything to be added or deducted from that. So now you just add the outer amount column. The amount column you add, that is 6,300 plus 9,000 plus 400. Altogether your total will be, you do the calculations and get the amount. Take a rough paper for doing calculations, or you can do on the back side of your notebook. Not as working note, not in your margins, it must be separately done on a rough calculation sheet. Now you can just double line this total figure, and in particulars column you write purchases account, put 3 dots like this and write DR. Purchases account will be always having a debit balance. So you write it as DR. Understood? Purchases account, we know that it is having a debit balance because purchasing an item means it's an expense for the firm. Expenses will be always having a debit balance. So purchases account debtor DR you write and write the total in the amount column. and the date can be, the date for this particular figure for 15,700, the total amount for that date can be the date, the last date of the month, that is February 29th. Since it is 2020, the year is 2020, the last date is given as, or last date you have to write as February 29th. In case if you write as Feb 28, that's also fine, but don't write February 31st and all. So either 28 or 29 you write, that's not a problem. Month end you have to write as the date for total. So with that, this question is over. You have to close the purchases book. So this is the first type of special purpose books, that means under second category. First type is actually cash book. Now we are discussing other books other than cash book. Among these, the first type is purchases book.